Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. This is about goals. Brian Tracy, one of the great heroes I have, he said when it comes to goal, the primary cause of success in life is the ability to set and to achieve goals. That's why the people who do not have goals are doomed forever to work for those that do. You either work to accomplish your own goals or you work to accomplish someone else's. What we're going to talk about now for the first perhaps 45 minutes is to find that inner, deepest conviction, the soul of your company. We're going to talk about from these very important things from the perspective of a leader or for yourself in your career. Later on, we're going to talk more about you and your life and other different roles, but we're going to start with to talk from this from a business perspective. Now take that quote again. The primary cause of success in life is the ability to set and to achieve goals. That's why the people who do not have any goals, many of you employees, that's the problem. Many employees feel in that situation. The primary cause of success in life is the ability to set and achieve goals. That's why the people who do not have any goals are doomed to work for those that do. You either work to accomplish your own goals or you work to accomplish someone else's. And this is a little bit of a problem we're facing today in the business world. Many people feel, perhaps you also, and then you can recognize yourself in what I'm talking about. Many of us feel that we're working for someone else's goals. Now, how fun is that? To work on someone else's goals is just not it. It just doesn't give us that driving force that we need. So what I'm going to talk about is how we can help ourselves, our business associates, our employees, to really feel passionate about our goals or the goals that we have. A saying we have in our company, it sounds much better in Swedish, but in English it will be just something like this, that there's a huge difference to know of a goal or to feel for a goal. You all understand that? You know of a goal, you understand the goal, but to feel for a goal, it's a huge difference, isn't it? Now, if your company have, and I expect you do, your company might have the best goals in the world. But if the people that work in your company only know of the goal but have no feeling for it, you're not going to reach the results that you actually can reach. So what I'm going to talk about is how we can, for ourselves, but also the people who work with us or work for us, can actually have a feeling for our goals. Are you with me, though, that there is a difference? You know, we can understand the goal, we can, see it, understand it, but we don't really have a connection to it. Why not? Because we don't have a feeling for it. Let me explain how we can have a feeling for it. When we work with companies, we very often see that there's two mistakes made when it comes to companies' goals. Number one is there's just too few people that are involved in the process of identifying the goals. It's just not people enough. It's not enough people that have identified the goals. Number two is the goals have no purpose or a deeper meaning. Now, a good question then is to ask, but does the goal really need to be meaningful? My answer to that is, well, that completely depends on how far you want to reach. I personally belong to those people that believe that goals should be meaningful, because there is a higher purpose to goals that we very often miss. Goals is not just to point out which direction we should go, how much money we should how much money we should make, or how much we should weigh to the summer. There's much greater purpose to goals that very often are missed. Please write this down. The main purpose of having a goal is to inspire us so that we would like to reach better results. That is the major focus point of a goal. That's the reason why we have goals. I'll take it again. The main reason why we have goals is so that to inspire us so that we would like to reach better results. I'm going to say that again, but I'm going to take away a key word just so you can understand the difference. The main reason why we have goals is to inspire us to reach better results. It works, it's cool, it's catchy, but it fools. The true essence of having goals is to inspire us so that we would like to reach better results. I have 8 children. I have figured out that it's actually easy to get the kids to tie it up in their room. You just threaten them, you bribe them, you give them option to worse job. You know, really, it's easy to get them to tie it up in the room. What is really hard is to get them to want to tie it up in their room. I haven't figured that one out yet, but I'm quite sure there's an answer to it. But my point is, it's the same with the people that we work with, and it's the same with ourselves. To force a better result, it's easy. To push for a better result, it's easy. But if we can get everybody that we're surrounded by to actually want to reach a better result, just imagine what could happen to your business then. Let me explain how we can do that. But we start with the first one. The first problem with many companies' goals is that there's not enough people involved in the process of identifying. Let me explain what I mean. Very often I ask people a question and I say, let's say that your wife or husband come and say to you, listen, I've really been thinking a lot and I think that we can get a lot more out of our marriage. And I've really been giving it some thought. And I realize this is what our marriage is about. I have a list of 7 points that I would like you to work at so we can reach this goal. And then I ask people, how motivated would you be to work on such a goal? And most of them say, because their wives or husbands are not with them, you know, so they say, sure, not motivated at all kind of thing. Right, then I say, let's say your husband or wife come and say this. I think we can get a lot more out from our marriage. Come just go away for a weekend. Just you and me, we spend time together, we talk about our marriage, we eat good, and you just complete the soul and ID. You go away and you have a really nice time. You eat well, massage, swimming pool, whatever, but the thing is, you spend a lot of time together talking about your relationship. And then together, you realize that this is the essence, this is the core of our marriage. This is really what we would like to get out from our marriage. And you then walk away with 3 or 4 things that you would like to work on to add value to this goal. And your spouse walk away with another 3 or 4 things that she or he needs to work on to add value to this goal. How motivated would you be to work on such a goal? And without their partner being in the room, they say, I will be at least 100% motivated. Why? And they say, because I was part of identifying the goal. Now, this is the interesting thing. The goal that your spouse identified might actually be the best goal in the world. But who cares? It's not your goal. You were not part of identifying it. So what it says on the wall is actually not important. The important thing is your relationship to what's written. Are you with me? So this is your marriage, the most important thing you have in your life most likely, but it's not your goal, and therefore you're not going to work at it. I'm not saying that just because you work together on a goal, it needs to be a bad goal or a worse goal. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter. Because what it says here on the wall is not the important thing. The important thing is your relationship to it. And if you have not been part of identifying this, you're only going to know of it, but you're not going to have a feeling for it. Do you all understand what I'm saying? Now, and of course, this does not just apply to marriages, because this is the problem with a lot of companies. Everybody agree with that the second option is the best option. We do it together. Still, most companies work with the first option. Some people go away. They can go away for a couple of days, perhaps to a warm place, sit down with a drink in the hand or something like that. They can think short term, long term, it doesn't matter. They can think our department or the whole company, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, they come up with some really, really good ideas. And then they come home, they gather the employees, and they say something like this. Now, we really been thinking, and we have realized this is what we need to focus upon for this year. And we have a list of 7 points that we would like you to work on so we can reach this goal. And all employees, they sit there and they, yes, great, now we know what to do, and then they go out and do what they just done before. Nothing really happens. And see, there's more and more companies that start to realize that. So what they do is they hire in somebody that can present the goals in a cool way without realizing that doesn't matter. Now, I can have a pole here with a little bit of oil on it and be really easily dressed, and start to dance a little bit and present. I'm not going to do that. I know what you think. Yeah, thank you. I'm not going to do that. But I could do that and try to present the goal to you, and it still wouldn't make any change. So how we present a goal is not the key. The key is it my goal or is it someone else's goals? And to get people to feel that it's my goal, they need to be part of the process to identifying it. Do you all understand what I'm saying? Right. I'm going to show you one of the consequences that often arise when people are not with in identifying a goal. And I'm going to do that best if everybody close your eyes. And I know you think that I'm joking, but I'm not. Could everybody in the room please close your eyes? If you now, or listen to this on a CD and drive in a car, you don't need to be with on this, okay? But for us in the room, please close your eyes. When you close your eyes, I would like you to point north without cheating. Right. Keep your hands as they are and open your eyes. Right, we don't really go. We got this direction, we got this direction, we got that direction, we got that direction. Excellent, thank you. You can take down your hands. And to be honest with you, I have no clue. That's not the point. The point is, if you will have an experience like this, you just go to your work. You go to your office, your working place, and then you take, let's say, 5 or 10 people that you work with, and you ask them this question. What should have the highest priority in our business? If you ask that question to 5 or 10 of your colleagues, you will have answers that looks just like this. We don't agree. And at McCarthy, we have realized and discovered and seen the power, the energy, the drive that comes from that every single person point in the same direction. We've been working with a lot of different hotels. Hotels is a very complex business. I understand so is your business, but at the hotel, you have people that boil the eggs, and then you have people that serve the eggs. You have people that take care of you in the reception. You have somebody that cut the grass or fix things. We have people that make your beds, clean your toilets. You have people that is in charge of the finances, and you have a boss. I mean, in a hotel, you have everything. Are you with me? We have discovered what kind of magic it is when everybody, whether you cut the grass, in charge of the finances, boil the eggs, take care of them in the reception, whatever you do, when everybody point and everybody's aware of this is what we stand for. This is the soul, or this is the bottom line of what our hotels stand for. When everybody points the same direction, things start to happen. Are you with me? There's no free lunches, as I say. There's no way to get people to point in the same direction and really have a passion for it, to really feel for it, unless they're part of the process to identify it. I will show you one more. I will take it one step further to show you what the consequences very often are when we're not pointing the same direction. There was something cool, or still is, I bet, called Technical Research Institute programs in Washington. I always get it wrong, but I guess it doesn't matter. Something like Technical Research Institute programs located in Washington in USA, and they received a task or a mission, and that was to find out, why do we lose customers? Every company loses customers. Why do we do that? And they came down to 6 different points, major points. I suggest you write this down. These points here is the major reasons, the 6 of them, to why we lose customers. 1% of the customers we lose, we do because they die. Yeah, I know, not much we can do about that, is it? 3% of the customers we lose because they decide to buy from friends instead. 5% of the customers we lose because they move. Now, these first 9%, 1, 3, and 5, there's 9% if we calculate that quickly. It falls in the category of, excuse my language, but shit happens. Because whatever we do, people will always die. Hopefully not because of what we do, but people will always die. They will always buy from friends instead, and they will always move. Now, this is what I think is really wonderful when it comes to life. This really shows how fair life is. The things that we can have least influence on is also the things that influence us least. It's just 9%. Leave it, forget it, don't worry about it. There's nothing you can do about it, and it doesn't really affect you, does it? So just put that aside. These 9% we lose because they're more attracted to competitors' offers. Okay? So these 9% we lose because they're more attracted to competitors' offers. These 14% we lose because they are dissatisfied with the quality or the price. Now, these 9 plus 14, that's 23%. It comes a little bit closer to you and me because it's about price and quality. Now, I understand if we can't affect price and quality fully, but I bet in some kind of way we have some influence on it. So this is something that we can affect. But the most interesting thing is those 68%. That's more than 2/3. 68% of the customers we lose because they are dissatisfied with the indifference of the service personnel. Indifference is like, well, I don't care. You know, that's why people really leave us. They're not satisfied with the service they get. People are indifferent. People don't care. That's more than 2/3. Now, the interesting with those 68% is those are the easiest to affect. They're the one that affects us most, but it's also the easiest one to change. I mean, just imagine if 68% of your customers died. What would you do then? You know, that would be a little bit hard. But no, 68% of the customers we lose because they are dissatisfied with the indifference of the service personnel. Not of the person that packed the stuff, not of the person that was producing the stuff. They were dissatisfied with the indifference or the I don't care mentality of the service personnel, the person closest to them. Now, this is interesting. Our experience is that the person that is closest to the customers usually have least say-in when it comes to our goals. Now, according to this, I would say the person that is closest to the customers have the greatest influence on your result. The person that is closest to the customer is the one that really can build a trust and change these numbers. And still, they have the least say-in the goals. I don't think that's good. Note what I'm not saying. I'm not saying, as a leader, you don't need to set out any goals anymore. Let them do that. Don't care about blah, blah, turn upside down the pyramids or whatever it is. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, let them be part of setting the goals. Do it together. Invite them. Let them be part of it. What's the benefit? The benefit is that they will walk out from there thinking, this is my goal. They don't just understand it, they feel for it. And they will treat their customers or your customers in a completely different way. The point is to really get people to feel for it. And to do so, they need to be involved. We can see that there's a difference to it. We've been working with some big companies, and it would be a little bit unfair to point them out here now because I believe there's many companies that have these problems. And that is that the people on the highest top, they set some really good values, really good standards, and really good goals. And then, you know, it goes through layer and layer and layer, and when it comes to the last person, the person closest to the customer, is kind of nothing left. Are you with me? It's kind of just so drained out, so the goal has no meaning or no purpose anymore. It's a good goal, it's a great goal, but when it hits the last person, it doesn't mean anything anymore. And this is what we need to, you know, to come by. I don't know if you ever played something called Chinese Whisper. We do that sometimes in nursery here. Chinese Whisper goes something like that. I tell you something, I whisper it to you, you whisper it to the next person, and then when it comes to the last person, it's something completely different. And this is very often what happens to our goals. They go through these Chinese whispers. The people that set the goals, identified the goals, they really thought it through and they did something really, really good. I'm not criticizing the value of the goal. What I'm pointing out is that when it hits the last person, it's just not much left of it.